What is not nearly as bad as people make it out to be. Jury duty. It was actually quite interesting to get an inside look at being on a jury. Mentally ill people, specifically people with scary disorders like schizophrenia and along that same line, mental hospital patients. Telling people something they don't want to hear and not being apologetic about it. Waiting. Just chill, bro. Being single. GI distress after Taco Bell or White Castle. I for one hear all the jokes but never had anything nasty happen. Long drives. It's something I enjoy. Being nice to other people. Root canals. They're not fun, but if go to someone who knows what they're doing, there's no real pain. The fear leading up to it was much worse than anything that actually happened. Getting a vaccine. People overreact the needle pain, which is never as bad as the sting. Mammograms. I had my first one in my early 30s, and it wasn't bad at all. Airline meals. Having a colonoscopy. You shit for a couple hours and then you go into the office and go to sleep for a bit. It's not a big deal and the side effects of avoiding one are way worse. Math. Some of it is certainly complex, don't get me wrong. But I feel like people hate math solely because they have very negative views of their own abilities. Anyone can learn math, and being good at math isn't defined by doing complex math problems in your head. A prostate test. Yes, the doctor will stick a finger up your butt to check your prostate. 1. The doctor is wearing a rubber glove and will put some lube on his finger. 2. The whole procedure takes less than 1 minute. There is nothing sexual about it, it's a common medical procedure. No, you are not gay if you let the doctor do this. No, the doctor is not trying to make you gay. No, the doctor is not enjoying himself or trying to degrade you. He's just checking if you have cancer that could kill you if it goes undetected for too long. The whole, "I'm never letting a doctor touch me there" attitude is mind-blowing. People make it sound like it is the most degrading and painful experience they've ever had. It's nothing. Seriously, chill out, people. Spiders, they take care, get rid of the actual pests that can do harm to you and your home. Just let them be if you see one, or carry them outside on a piece of paper if they bother you. Cringy video games. Minecraft, Fortnite, Undertale, and even FNAF, even when it's pumping out sequels, are at the very least objectively okay games. Minecraft is still one of my favorites. Exercise. Plucking, waxing, threading eyebrows. Whenever a guy has to do it in movies, shows, it's always so hyperbolic. It's not that painful. I understand most guys have thicker eyebrow hairs, but so many women have thick hairs too. Especially Middle Eastern women, but they often have the most groomed and maintained brows. Putting on a mask. Edit. First silver, thanks kind person. I shall pay it forward. Weightlifting. Seriously, don't focus on the weights other people in the gym. Focus on yourself and master form, technique on each movement, and progressively increase your strength. Really not that deep unless you get into powerlifting, bodybuilding, Olympic lifting. Spinal taps. Well, now they call them lumbar punctures, to make it less scary. The fear of getting one is worse than the test itself, it only hurts for a fraction of a second. Eating simple, cheap meals. Sometimes the simple stuff is just better than the complex. Hands down, I'd take a bowl of leftovers risotto any day over 90% of restaurants I've been to. You don't need 10 ingredients and 5 spices to make good food. Having your wisdom teeth removed. Far less painful than dealing with actual wisdom tooth pain. Don't believe other people's war stories. Vaccination. Both for whatever whack reason a small group of people can come up with to risk being disease-ridden, and for how bad the experience actually is. It's normally like being pricked by a thorn or pin. Being dumped by text. Sure, it's lazier than saying it to my face, but I've been broken up with 3 times by text, and it's not nice, but not worthy of drama queen screaming. Heavy metal. The music. People hate it, but it depends on the band that you listen to. Not every metal song is from Cannibal Corpse or Metallica. Chemistry. Okay fine, it probably depends quite a bit on your teacher. Pineapple on pizza. The swab COVID test. Autism. Sure, there are people with low-function autism, but many people with autism, me, for example, look perfectly normal on the outside, aside from some social awkwardness. Also Asperger's, which I have and is on the autism spectrum, isn't a 100% illness. It's more of a trade-off. People see the social awkwardness and the difficulty grasping gray areas, as opposed to black and white thinking as a bad thing, but what we lack in those areas is more than made up for academically. I'm really good with math and science and am pursuing a degree in aerospace engineering since that's what I'm really good at. Thor 1 and 2. Especially TDW. My best friend told me it's more fun to watch once you've seen Endgame, and it's true. Things make a bit more sense. Going to the dentist. Being yourself. Waxing, sugaring for hair removal. Hurts a lot for like half a second, then it's fine. Wearing a mask in public to prevent COVID spread. BDSM. Butt stuff. The Star Wars prequel movies. A prostate exam where the doctor has both hands on your shoulders. Most things in life. Getting a shoot or IV. Had almost 50 IVs throughout 2017, and still getting one every 8 weeks for infusions, and 5 PICC lines. I get people have the fear of needles, but after so many, it's just not as bad as people claim it to be. The COVID nasal swab test. Yes, it goes uncomfortably deep. But it's over soon and the discomfort is short-lived. A colonoscopy. If you're of age or have a family history, get it done. I waited 3 years too many and have a stage 4 diagnosis. If I just wasn't afraid of the whole concept, they'd have caught it as a polyp. You get knocked out and wake up in recovery. Get it done, please. Candy corn. Processed food. Make sure you have a vegetable once in a while and don't sit on your ass all day. A frozen pizza and some French fries aren't going to fucking hurt you. Calculus. Jankum. Writing a will. People are weird about thinking about their death or having conversations about what they should do. Have the conversation. I assure you, we all die, and dying intestate or without a personal directive makes it way more difficult for your family. Wearing a freaking mask. Like people, it's just a piece of cloth covering your face. What's so bad about it if you're potentially saving lives? Wearing a mask during pandemic. Pineapple pizza. I personally do like it, but the hate on it is too big. Working. It keeps you out of trouble and keeps you productive. Being single. Relationships aren't for everyone, and the freedom gives you the opportunity to pursue your wildest ambitions. Weed. Telling the truth. It feels so good to have a clear conscience in every situation. The friend zone. Even when single, that's something I aim for. If the other person likes me but doesn't see me that way, then I have a new friends. I call that a win. Otherwise, it's win-lose with the odds stacked heavily to losing. Colonoscopies. Blowjobs. Changing diapers. It's gross, but you get used to it fast. I mean, you wipe your own ass, right? Being pregnant, from someone who is currently preg. Yes, you get sick and there's back pain and constipation, a ton of weird symptoms. But it's also so exciting to know you're growing a fucking human in your belly and you'll meet her soon and she'll be the love of your life. Plus everyone is super nice to you and you never have to lift anything. The Star Wars prequels. Well, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, at least. The latter is my all-time favorite Star Wars movie, and Attack of the Clones had some pretty badass scenes with some pretty badass soldiers. TikTok. There's actually some good stuff on there. If you follow certain tags, you can almost always avoid the cringy shit. Legend of Korra. Sure, it's not as good as The Last Airbender, but it's still great. The COVID nostril test. It's uncomfortable, but it's not torture, and it's over in a second. Sugar-free anything. They really taste fine and are often fewer in calories and everything as well. But when I said I made sugar-free cookies, people say, ew. Capitalism. Sent from my iPhone. Nuclear waste. There isn't that much of it, most of it can be recycled and reused, and the small amount that can't is very easily and safely stored. Nuclear power. Vegemite. I live in the US, and got some, just to try it, expecting it to be bad, but I quite liked it. I finished the whole jar, and then got a second, and finished that one too. It's salty, but also a bit meaty, like beef bouillon. It's pretty good on toast with butter. Solo traveling. Do so with proper prior planning and understand the risks. Running a marathon. Sure, the last few miles when you're trying to get a good time is unrelenting misery, but if you're in decent shape, doing a really slow marathon isn't too bad at all. Working. You do what you're supposed to, get paid for it, and get breaks occasionally. It's like being in school, just getting paid for it. The United States of America. It hurts to admit that I may be downvoted for saying this, but the USA isn't the devil, and a lot of people of all creeds and backgrounds have a wonderful life here. We aren't any more evil than any other nation in history, and certainly not nearly as evil as many of them.